Hi everybody, happy Tuesday. It's Coach Velia here, and I wanted to hang out with you guys for a little while. Turn this down here. Really excited because last week was kind of a long week for me. I had a very important day on Monday, did very well, had the results that I wanted, so I was very, very excited, and I celebrated and all that good stuff on Monday. I found myself kind of being a funk Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and just kind of going through the motions, but not wanting to take on too much. So I'm going to share a little bit of a story, and I want you guys to think about how you've had stories in your life that have kind of taught you something or wanted to teach you something, and I want you to pay attention to the details of it. Very empowering for me yesterday. So a couple weeks ago, I had to hire a gardener because I had weeds galore in my yard, front yard, backyard, side yards. We have rock landscaping, a lot of cacti and things of that nature. So I had to hire somebody because I got so overwhelmed with the amount of things that had grown out because I was so busy. I spent a lot of time creating a fairy garden with my family. We got bushes, we got rocks. For Mother's Day, we got a whole bunch of flowers and just spent a lot of time doing that. Then I found myself just kind of wanting to stay in the garden and do things here and there. Not much, but just kind of add new things, take away old things. And I didn't really want to do much of anything else. I had a whole bunch of messages. I had a whole bunch of emails, people wanting to meet, let's get together. But I took that week to just kind of take care of me and really spend some time in my garden, spend some time with my family. So I was really happy to do so. Yesterday, day before, I was on Netflix and I just Netflixed the whole day. So normally when I do things like that, sometimes I'll think I just kind of wasted time. I didn't do what I was supposed to. I should have done something else. But this time it was very different. I'm thinking, okay, what was my week about? What did I do? How can I somehow take away from this week and feel like I did do something? And all of a sudden I started thinking about how the garden very much reflected my life and what it is I wanted to do and what it is I had done. So we go through life and we're always talking about make sure you're dotting your I's and you're crossing your T's, taking care of business. So when I came to the realization that I had just kind of spent time in the garden, and yes, I had free time to do other things, but I didn't want to put more on my plate. Didn't want to meet with anybody, didn't want to have new networking events. I didn't want to do any of that. And normally, again, it would have been like I did something wrong, I should have done something better, but it was downtime for me. A reflection of what was happening. So I want you guys to take a look at your surroundings and see what it is you're doing, what you're taking time for, what you're not, how you're feeling overwhelmed, and what it is you need to spend time on. And it's okay if you have to cut yourself out of life and society for a little bit, because all in all, you're the one that has to come back to your home and to your life, and you have to decide what it is you want to see in your life. So when I think back, and I share this story for a couple of reasons, when I think about how I had to hire somebody to help me, so I had to have this gardener come and just kind of get everything out of the way, and I had to spend money to get it done. I didn't care. I came home to a nicer looking house, but I thought to myself, what am I going to do for maintenance? So that's very similar to somebody who has a whole bunch of trauma, a lot of issues. You just kind of get overwhelmed, and before you know it, you just can't take care of it by yourself, right? You're feeling like you need some outside help, but then you keep saying you'll do it. I don't want to spend the money. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And you'll figure you're going to do it, and then more and more weeds or more and more issues are being attracted to you. It's kind of the way it works. So I'm thinking about my landscaping in this week of time and thinking, this is actually a really good teaching moment for me. So I learned a lot from this experience, and I want to share it with you. I know a lot of times there's things that overwhelm us, and they kind of take their toll on us, but we're not paying attention to the things that are happening around us, and we think somebody else can do it, or it's not that big a deal, or it's not going to bother me, but it starts to overwhelm you. And sometimes we make more and more commitments because we don't want to think about the things that we have to address, and sometimes meeting with new people or working, it distracts us, but it's not really taking you back to the core of what you really need to be doing. If you're revisiting yourself, how you're feeling, how your home is feeling, how your family is feeling, how you're preparing for the next steps in your life, because all of us have next steps, right? And sometimes it can get a little overwhelmed. So again, I kind of had a shutdown week, which was a really good time. I still got on here and chatted with you guys last week, which was a wonderful thing. I love to do that. But I gave myself permission to kind of just check out for the week and really reflect on how my home, how things were going at home, and how I can pour into these things. There was a lot of revelations that happened this week. We were clearing a lot of things that we no longer needed, things that were not serving us, old plants that were growing other plants that we didn't like anymore. And I kept thinking about how important that is, because sometimes we have something in our lives And from that, maybe not such great things, and from that come other things. And because we're so busy, we're not realizing how much is growing from the problems or the issues that we have. So say, for example, your kid's struggling at school and you're kind of not paying attention to it. Well, after that grows something else. And I'm looking at my gaze at the moment, thinking it has all these babies growing out and it looks so ugly, but I should have just addressed the big plant before it got so big. But life happened, right? I wasn't taking care of things, not because it wasn't important, but because I had other things to do. So I know a lot of parents have talked to me about those things, like, hey, you know what? Yes, my kid was having a problem. I didn't really address it the way I should have, and now it's a lot bigger. So we got to go back and take care of the plants, right? So it's not giving off the fruit that we don't want it to give. So a lot of that had to do with the reflection that I had this week and in talking to other people and the things that they've been struggling with. So for some reason, this week seemed very long to me. For others, it seemed like a very quick week. A lot of the things that were happening in this week were people feeling very sad, like they've come a long way and they started feeling a lot more sad, like I don't know what's wrong with me, I'm struggling, I feel so overwhelmed. Hi Yesenia, thanks for watching. So there's been a lot of struggles, and more so this week. So I don't know if it's because I kind of had downtime and I kind of took time for reflection. And yes, I went to go visit family and friends, but I didn't do anything I didn't want to do. And everything I did was to kind of pour into myself, kind of like a celebration week for me. And again, through gardening, I started noticing different things, like how we have to reach out for people when we feel overwhelmed, how there's times that we've ignored certain things and they get bigger, how there's times where we haven't been able to communicate certain things, how there's times where we can make things more beautiful, right? Bring in new bushes, bring in new implementations of different practices that you can actually talk to your family more. You can spend more time with people that you care about. You can not put so much on your plate. So there's a whole bunch of things that you guys can do. But before we do things, I think we really need to understand where we are. Not where anybody tells us we are, not how somebody feels we should live our lives, because sometimes we're so busy asking people's opinions that we're not really spending time with ourselves to see what it is that I've created in my life. Do I want to continue to create this? Do I want to continue to worry? Do I want to continue to stress? Or is it time for me to make changes? Do I want to do something different with my life? And what does different look like? So a lot of times it helps us to envision what we want our lives to look like, but it's very important to take an assessment of what your life looks like right now. When you have an idea of what that looks like, if you walk into your house and something overwhelms you, why is it there? If you walk into your house and you have a project and you haven't finished it, why haven't you finished it? Now, a lot of times our surrounding is a reflection, right? Our environment does reflect how our behavior is, what we're thinking about, what we're stressing about. So a lot of people have mentioned that there's things that they want to get done, that there's projects they've started that they haven't been able to finish, and they want to just be able to close those chapters, whether it be your physical home, whether it be relationships, whether it be behaviors, whether it be things you wanted to start at home with your family as far as communication and function. Now is the time to do that. Now is the time to reflect on where you are right now and then start making plans so you can create things that you want to do. So I would strongly recommend you guys to look at all the unfinished projects you have going on at home, in your physical home, or in the relationships and the promises you've made and the context you've been trying to meet with, and the things that you said you were going to do that you haven't done yet. Take a look at where you are, assess your situation, start finishing your projects, whether it be physical, emotional projects, it doesn't matter. Start giving yourself more of a routine that you can follow that pours into you. And yes, you can still go and hang out with people and make commitments, but you can't do that effectively and it actually be sustainable without first you taking care of your foundation. So I kind of wanted to put that out there today. It's a very weird explanation about the garden and how things work, but sometimes I get information or I get ideas of what to talk to you guys about based on things that are happening in my life, right? Because there are things where sometimes people think have everything put together, and there's things that, you know, you still have to address, and there's things that chapters you still have to close, and sometimes it may take more time, but it's something you're going to get off of your plate. So make an assessment, take a look at your life, everything in it, and start writing down the things that you want to continue to do, and write down the things that you want to not do anymore, and what you're going to do to make sure that you're not getting caught up in this web. You're not going to get entangled with everybody else's issues and their drama. And it's okay to kind of take some time off to reflect on you, take care of you, and to really figure out how you have to pour into yourself to charge your battery so you can be there for other people. So I hope this has helped you guys somewhat. And if you found value in it, please share the video for others to be a little more aware of things that they can do to learn to enhance their lives. It's very important. I want to share with you guys again, I have my event starting May 30th, and I am limiting the space to only 10 people because we want a little more intimate group. Again, we're going to meet for 4 weeks, May 30th. in 4 weeks for 2 hours once a week. The cost and information is there on the page. And this is kind of what we're going to do. We're going to revamp your life. We're going to get rid of the things that you no longer need, the things that are weighing you down. Maybe they're promises you've made to yourself and you've kind of let yourself down before. We're going to talk about love and forgiveness and how to really increase your capacity to bring forth wisdom from any aches and pains you've suffered in your past, whether it be emotional, whether it be spiritual or physical, it doesn't matter. We're going to address all those and really pour into yourself with a very intimate group of people who want to enhance their lives. So we put that together for you. Hope you guys will sign up. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me a message and we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching. Have an amazing day and we'll see you here tomorrow.